Survivor Specialist Phil and Alexa are back. I had to change the logo, so I got distracted. Survivor Specialist Phil and Alexa are back with the season 42 prop bet game. Very excited to get this thing going. For those of you who are unfamiliar with the prop bet game, sit in, buckle up, listen for the next couple of seconds. If you had played the Bootless game or you were interested in playing the Bootless game and you listened to our podcast about 2 weeks ago, the link is now in the YouTube video for the Bootless game. So that is where it is. If you're asking yourself, how do I sign up for this? Go to the Bootless Game YouTube video, and down there's a Google form. You submit there. The biggest key, though, and I'm going to say this out loud for all y'all in the back to hear. If you win, respond to us because we don't know your addresses. We can't send you these buffs. And I love going over to Reddit and seeing people trash talking us because they have a friend who never got their buffs. If your friend wants their buff, tell them to message us because here's the buffs. They're sitting right here. We're not holding out. I do not want these. Season 41 stunk. I don't want these. If you want your buff because you won, come and get your buff. I don't want to see people smearing our names just because their friend doesn't know how to answer an email. Anyway, I don't think this was actually in relation to this season. I think it was from prior to that. The winner of the Bootless last year was Claudette Proctor. The winner of the prop bet last year was Brian Johnson. So message us. We've had so many people come out of the woodworks, and essentially it reminds me of Game of Thrones when they're all looking for Tyrion, and it's like, oh, now look at this. I found this person and this person. It's like, no, you're not all going to be Brian Johnson, but maybe one of you will be Brian Johnson. Anyway, prop bet game. Alexa, welcome back to season 42. I just had to get that off my chest because I hate seeing us smeared on Reddit for things that we don't deserve it for. We deserve it for a lot, but not for that.
But not for this. Yeah, if you've been listening, we've been trying to get rid of these buffs. I've also been saying that I want this buff. So if people don't come out and take them, then we'll take them.
And I don't. Alexa's paying shipping and handling to get them.
So we got these for you guys. We saw that someone made a comment a while ago about how we ghost people, but that's not true. We've been trying to get rid of these buffs for a really long time and no one's responded to us. So we will do our due diligence moving forward and change the submission. So you have to submit your email address so that we can reach out to you if you win. But for now, please help us help you get buffs.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited for this prop bet podcast today. Phil texted me this morning asking what the props were, and I was shocked and disturbed because I thought it meant that he was preparing in advance, but fret not, he wasn't.
No, I wasn't. I have none of it done. I just have a list of their names and a list of the props. I'm going to roll through how the prop bet works right at the top here so that anybody who's listening can just follow along easily right now. The way that this one's going to work is there are going to be 18 props, one prop for each castaway. You're going to use each castaway one time, and you are going to wager a total of points, hoping to get more points. Things you're more confident on, you will put 3 points on. The things you're less confident on, you'll put 1 point on. Things you're neutral on, you'll put 2 points on. Now, all of this has to equal out to 36. So you could go down the line and just go 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, or you do 1, 3, 2. You can mix it up. You should have the same amount of ones as you do threes. Otherwise, your numbers are going to be off. The props, we didn't change them from last year. We're going to keep them one more time. We're going to see how it works, and we would change moving forward just because – I don't know. Last year's was a weird one, and I also feel like we're still going to get a lot of the same stuff. So they are, number 1 is winner. Number 2 is sheds a physical tier. We are talking physical. We are not talking looks all gushy in the face. We're talking physical tier. I know that this one has been complicated in the past. I'm going to follow this so much more closely this year because I won't be working every single Wednesday night leading into the episode. Finds a hidden immunity idol. So now this one is tricky because of these new idols. Alexa, how do we feel about this? Because last year people were finding idols that weren't actually immunity idols. They were just kind of things until somebody said the stupid phrase. We know that's coming back again. Do they just have to pick this up? It doesn't actually have to be activated?
Yeah, I mean, maybe this is a conspiracy theorist in me, but I cannot imagine that they will that Survivor will allow a situation where these idols don't become activated.
But did Brad's count from last year? I guess that's the real question. Because Brad's was not activated before he went home.
I would count it, I think.
Okay. I think you're right.
It is an idol. So yeah, I'll count it. Let's count it for now. And if when these continue to happen, maybe we can adjust. But I think if you find the thing, you should get the points.
And I agree. I think that makes it the least complicated. Number 4 is 10 or more votes, receives 10 or more votes throughout the season. That does include votes negated by Idol. Number 5 is 5 or fewer votes during the entire season. That also includes votes negated by Idol. So if you get, if you have a Wentworth does not count, that does count for the 10 or more, and it does count for the 5 or less. Wins individual immunity. That is self-explanatory. Blindfolded. Alexa, we might have to be cutting this one after this season because that really hasn't happened in a while.
Yeah, when was the last time you had like a blindfold?
I know. They couldn't afford it on their CBS budget. They couldn't afford pieces of cloth. Number 8 is makes the jury. Very self-explanatory. Number 9 hugs Jeff. Number 10 sits out 3 or more challenges for any reason. So last year Heather hit this. If you sit out for food, that counts. Any reason. Now, if you get sent to another island before the challenge begins, you're not sitting out. You're somewhere else. So sitting out means like sitting out. Yeah. 10 or more confessionals in one single episode. That includes if there's a 2-hour premiere and, they talk, which, by the way, we're 1 week away. I didn't even mention that.
Holy moly.
Number 12, mouth blurred. We have to see the mouth be blurred. Number 13, lasts an hour or longer in a challenge. That's normally a pretty tough one to hit.
Yeah.
Number 14, a confessional in every episode they appear in. Now, obviously, if they're on the jury, they're not going to get confessional. So it's before they get voted out of the game. Number 15, be a part of 5 or more rewards. So this means literally like, wait, did I miss one?
No. Maybe I just missed it. Keep talking and let me just.
14 was confessional in every episode. 15, be a part of 5 or more rewards. This means your team wins 5 rewards, or you win an individual reward, or you get chosen for a reward. It doesn't matter how you go on this reward, but you're going on a reward, or you're sitting off to the side eating Chinese food, or you get a blanket or something. You're getting a reward. However, this does have to do with challenges. Just because they go over to the little Extinction Island or whatever it's called, they do a little twist of the wheel. If you get a blanket because of that, that does not count as being a part of a reward because that's not a reward challenge. That's just something that Jeff is giving you.
So one thing that we have in our document, I will check if it's in the Google Doc that you guys submit. It's 3 rewards. Do we want to keep it at 5 or have it at 3?
I think it says 5 in the Google Doc.
Okay, then we'll do that, and I will just change it in ours.
I think it does, yeah. Number 16 is says the episode title. Number 17 is leaves with an unused advantage. That one we'll talk about in a second. And the number 18 was mentions COVID, which it seems like we're almost done with that. So hopefully this
that'll probably change for 43.
Yeah,
because 42 was filmed recently.
Yeah, 42 is filmed recently. They still have the whole what were you doing during quarantine and all that fun stuff coming out, all the stuff that we just love to talk about now that it's 2022 and we're coming up on the 2-year anniversary of all this fun. But leave with an unused advantage. Now, Alexa, we talked about earlier with the hidden immunity idol, if it's not activated, we're still counting as a hidden immunity idol. However, I do not think that it's an unused advantage if you get voted out with this non-power idol in your pocket. I think that you literally have a rock and it's mainly a disadvantage. So I don't think it counts for that.
Brad wouldn't count for that.
Yeah. Okay.
I agree with that because it's not an advantage because you can't do anything with it.
Exactly.
Okay. I like that. Good clarification.
Cool. There you go. There's our clarification. If you need any others, just let us know. We're going to follow this very closely this year. And if your friend is that friend on Reddit, come on over. And if you're just angry at us because you want to be angry at us, you got plenty of reasons to be angry at me. Don't be angry at me for nonsense. Don't make up reasons. Just actually use the facts. That's all we ask for.
That's all we ask for. Thank you for coming to our complain/TED Talk.
There you go. All right. Number 1, the winner of this season. Now, Alexa, we both did the bootless game. I had Drea. You had
Drea for the winner. Oh,
didn't I? For the bootless game?
You did. Not that I took notes on what yours are. I had Chanel, obviously.
Yes, and she's going to be the first boot, so Alexa's wasting everyone's time. Is that who you still have?
It is who I have for the winner here. I only put 1 confidence point because I never put. I think we got rid of the doubling if that person is the winner.
We did.
Yeah, I mean, I may as well just go all in. I think Chanel could obviously get any of these, except for going home with less than 5 votes. But yeah, I just put her at the winner. I think she's really well-rounded. There's no red flags. She seems very normal, which I think is something that is really good on Survivor and especially a very good winner trait. So this poor girl probably doesn't know why I'm so obsessed with her, but I figured for consistency's sake, I may as well continue to have her as the winner.
Yeah, I like that. I will say that you said she has no red flags. My red flag is that you think she has no red flags.
Because she's perfect.
Obviously. Yeah, that's my red flag. Alexa's just going all in on like, hey, we do the same thing. You want to be friends? And it's like, all right, Alexa, let's see how far that gets you in life. But yeah, I do not have Chanel there. You're keeping track of your own on this one, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just making sure because I'm going to keep track of
I'll
mine while I
make sure to
also
put
look.
these separately later into the document.
Yeah, I'm looking for my boot list one. Did we not take? I know we typed them all out. I just got to find it. But anyway,
Did we talk about?
if you find the boot list one, Alexa, let me know
I
because
don't see it in our thing, so I'm going to assume we've not made it. But
but
hopefully you remember yours because I'll find mine and I'll input it.
I think I found it.
Okay, that was
Excel's
easy.
doing this stupid thing where it won't let me not. It's
Oh.
either takes up my whole screen or it's just this little baby bar, and I don't know how to change that.
Yeah, just send that to our email and I'll do it tomorrow.
Okay, cool. Anyway, so I did pick Drea as the winner in the last one, but I'm going to mix it up a little bit because, as everybody knows from that bootless thing, I was just kind of throwing shit at the wind here. So I'm going to go ahead and I am going to pick for my winner of this season with 1 confidence point, just like Alexa, because that's how little confidence I have in pretty much all of this. I am going to go ahead and I am going to take, where was their name? I am going to take Mike, and I'm going to say Mike is going to win this season. I know Alexa and I were both oddly confident in Mike, and I'm going to stay oddly confident.
Oddly confident.
Yeah, we were. I don't know. I'm just going to go with him as the winner with 1 point. I had Drea, and I had a really fun final 6. I had Lydia, Tori, Mike, Jonathan, Lindsay, and Drea. But I don't know. We were both kind of high on Mike, and I just feel like we've seen some weirder, different kind of winners over the last couple seasons. Nobody thought Tony was going to win in 40. Tommy was definitely a weird winner in 39. 38, Chris Underwood was the 3rd person voted out and still won the game, and probably the only alpha male in the history of the show to win. If you really think about the style of game that he was supposed to play and how he looked. David versus Goliath had Nick Wilson. That was kind of a weird win. And then 41 had Erica, who was a weird win. So I'm going to just keep going with weird wins. And honestly, I don't really see Mike fitting in too many other spots. So I'm just going to confidently say this one and give 1 point on it.
I love that for Mike because I feel like nobody's going to pick him. I feel like he's not like going to be a big social media guy, which is probably why I like him. But he seems like a simple player, and I actually mean simple as a compliment. So I think a lot of times like Survivor has become overly complex, both the players and the way that the game is played, that I think there's a lot of benefit to like not being rocked too easily, being good at a lot of things, being relatable and likable, and he seems like he will be.
Yeah, yeah, so good. We're on the same page with Mike. Who would have thunk? All right, for Cries a Physical Tier, who do you got?
I'm really upset because we're now 2.5 to 3 weeks into this, and I still am not pronouncing your name right. I think it's pronounced Maria, but it's spelled Marya.
I think people are trying to say Mariah, like
Mariah. It is Mariah. Yeah. I have Mariah actually with 3 points. I think Mariah is going to be entertaining, involved, but I think she's going to cry. I think she will, she's somebody who I think has a lot of energy and a lot of personality. And I think that that's somebody who is going to end up crying. I also think a lot of people cry on the show. So this isn't like a statement about her, but rather like, that's why I have 3 confidence points, because I feel like half the cast cries at some point.
Yeah. I was between Jonathan and Lindsay on this one, and I was really struggling between the two. No, I'm just kidding. So a lot of you were, you all will always ask like Phil and Alexa, what do you guys like in real life? All that stuff. One thing that people don't really know about you, Alexa, is that you're just a gigantic baby in real life and you cry all the time, which is why
huge cry.
Yeah, which is why I have Chanel here with 3 points. I've never been more confident.
If she's anything like me, she's going to cry at anything.
Yeah, I was actually trying to think like, could I possibly just put all 36 of my points on this? And like, that's how confident I am. Chanel's going to cry. That's what recruiters do, right? They just cry.
I am cracking up. I'm trying to think of what else you could have put her on.
I mean, anything else would have made more sense, but Chanel is now officially just lumped in as my punching bag because you are so obsessed.
I can't wait until she wins.
I know. There you go. So Chanel.
But sorry, Chanel, because it's clear what Phil thinks about me / you.
Yeah, exactly. It's all downhill from here. All right, but I do like, also I was going to say I like your Mariah pick also because of the thing with her brother. However, that is why I'm going to, we could skip to number 18 and I'm going to tell you with 100 million% confidence, Mariah is there for me. So I just wanted to let everybody know. We'll talk about that later. But
We'll get there.
yeah, that's why I didn't put her for the crying.
So who do you have for finding an activated or unactivated hidden immunity idol?
Daniel Strunk.
Going
in on Daniel.
Love that.
I got 2 points on him. I feel like Daniel is somebody who's going to be running around looking for this stuff. I feel like Daniel's going to probably need it a little bit early on. But I feel like he just fits the stereotype for who's looking for idols early on. And so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say it's him. So yeah, I have 2 confidence points on it just because with the hidden immunity idols, there actually were only 4 last year. Right, if I'm not mistaken, I think there were only 4 hidden immunity idols, which, only 4, but that it's not as chaotic as like, oh, every week there's going to be a new hidden immunity idol. And it seems that most of the time when somebody finds one, they just end up finding another one again. So yep, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to put Daniel with 2. And yeah, that's who I got there.
I like that. I think Daniel has also, embodied Daniel versus Zach. They're kind of going for the like, who can be the survivor nerd this season. I know that you have both listened to this podcast. That is not an insult, but like that seems to be like the thing that they're going for. Daniel had like this super, what is inappropriate, intricate like thing he did about like a David versus Goliath vote out. And that's something that just like, I'm glad that he thinks that's interesting because it's not for me. But I feel like he's somebody that like could overplay, but will like, I'll probably cheer for him because I think he's funny. So I definitely see that. I picked someone else who I just mentioned. I think Zach is finding hidden immunity idol. I have 3 points on this for any of you who are $20 patrons, or I guess $10 patrons. We were talking about like our predictions for this season. And I said that I have a conspiracy theory that Zach knows exactly how to appeal to the Survivor fans. He's already on the Reddit. Everyone loves him. I think he is funny. I think this is who he naturally is. However, I think he knows how to get the internet on his side because he is going to do something that people are not going to like. He's either going to vote off a fan favorite or he's going to make a huge blunder that people are going to totally attack him personally for no reason. And it's probably going to involve him having an idol. So, Zach, you have an idol.
Enjoy crying in real life, Zach, rather than on the show,
Phil doesn't think you're going to cry.
Yeah, that's how it feels there. Not like that. I mean, hey, we've seen it all happen on Survivor at this point, so I wouldn't be surprised by anything. 10 or more votes. I think we only had 1 person hit this last year, right?
Yeah, this is a hard one.
It used to be a lot more popular when they would start with the bigger tribes, but now with the smaller tribes, it just doesn't happen all that often, especially now. It seems like there's, the only good thing is that it's negated by idol would still count. So, that could save you a little bit here. But who do you have?
I did all these out of order. With only 1 point of confidence, because this is so difficult to hit, I have Swati getting 10 or more votes. I think she has a really strong personality. I think she'll be a ton of fun, but I think she's like one of, if not the youngest people on this season. And I feel like this season doesn't skew as young. So there isn't I don't see like a ton of immediate connections. I feel like she could just have a bunch of votes piled on her. That being said, I don't think she's going to get 10 votes piled on her because that is a lot. So yeah. 1 point.
Got it. I'm going Lindsay and I'm putting 2 on it. I think Lindsay is going to be a pain in the butt to some people on this season. And I think she's going to last. I think that's the big thing. Like, I think she's going to have a strong personality, but she's going to last. And normally people with strong personalities that go far, whether they win or lose, get a lot of votes. So I have 2 points on this, even though it was something that didn't really happen last season. I also feel like last season was kind of weird in the way that it kind of went down with some of the votes. So a lot of the people who were getting votes early on, like, were gone right away. And we've seen in most seasons, somebody who gets like 2 or 3 votes early will hang around, pick up 2 or 3 votes at the merge. And then all of a sudden, like, I do think we're going to get like 3 or 4 people who hit this year, hit this year. So that's why I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to put Lindsay with 2 points on.
I like that choice for Lindsay. I have her in a kind of similar spot for very similar reasons.
Nice. All right, 5 or less votes. So this counts. If it's 5, it still counts. So 5 or fewer.
Oh, I'm going to change that. 5 or fewer. For this, with 3 confidence points, which maybe I should not have done, I have Omar. I think Omar is either going to flame out very early, in which he's on a tribe of 6. So 5 votes, less than 5 votes is not going to be difficult at all. or I think he could last a long time. I think he's somebody who is really, really into the big moves. I see a lot of energy there, and that either really pays off for you or really does not. So I have him kind of on opposite ends of the spectrum. That's usually where I put these people.
I have Roxroy in this spot. I only have 1 point on this because while I think that I do think that like getting 10 or more is tough, getting 5 or less is even harder because like you have to go pretty much at the first tribal. I think even JD ended up with more than 5 last year and he got 14th place. Like it's really hard to not get more than 5 votes if you get voted out of the game of Survivor. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to put Roxroy at 1 because I do think that Roxroy probably goes earlier, but who knows? I wasn't very high on Roxroy mainly just because I know the rest of the community is super high on him just because he was a mystery and that's always cool to people. So.
I feel like people have since lost their interest because his answers are very JP-esque, but I am very fascinated by him.
I agree.
What was
wins? Who's going to win individual immunity, Alexa?
With 2 confidence points, I think High is going to win in individual immunity. Just by the look of him, he looks muscular, but not like crazy strong. He seems to have the body type that could do well in many different kinds of challenges. And obviously we know that individual immunities are kind of like balance / endurance. And I also think that he's going to perform well enough to get to the merge and be in a situation where he could win individual immunity.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Zach. And I'm gonna put 3 on it. Mainly putting 3 because a lot of people win individual immunity. Not putting 3 because I'm necessarily so convinced it's going to be Zach, but just because we're probably going to have 6 or 7 people win individual immunity at some point during the season. So
yeah,
I'm going ahead. I'm putting Zach 3 points on it, and we'll see what happens.
I like it. Excellent choice.
All right, the next one is the one that hasn't happened in a while. It hasn't happened in a couple seasons. I think the last one might have been 39. Did it happen in Winners at War? I don't remember.
I don't think it did.
Blindfolded. If they bring back a blindfold challenge, if they don't literally just do the cookie cutter version of season 41, who do you have getting blindfolded and why?
I have Jenny getting blindfolded. I only have 1 point on that. She's not soft spoken, but she doesn't seem, her voice isn't like loud Carrie. So I don't think that she would be a caller. So that's why I have her being on the blindfolded side. And again, I only have 1 point because I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, I have Lydia for this with 1 point. I know I put Lydia pretty high in my bootless game, but if Lydia doesn't go far, she's not going to hit any of these. So I'll just put her as blindfolded and give her 1 point. I don't think that this is going to happen on this season. So I was kind of using this as just like a throwaway for somebody and just, okay, they're not going to like, who do I feel the least confident in getting all this other stuff? Probably Lydia. So that's where I'm going.
Yeah, but I don't know. Hope maybe it'll happen. Or there was a situation whenever the last time a blindfold happened was the person we chose to get blindfolded ended up being the caller.
The caller, yeah.
Everyone else was blindfolded.
Yep. All right, Alexa, who do you have making the jury?
Roxroy is making the jury with 3 points.
Wrong.
3 points is probably pretty darn high. He is somebody who seems extremely inoffensive. So that's somebody who can make it pretty far. I don't see a ton of like extreme strategic chops. So I think there's going to be no reason to get rid of him early for people who are always trying to get threats out significantly early. He also is pretty built, so he's probably going to be fairly good at challenges. So all of that to say, I think he's going to make the top 13 places in this cast. So that is why I have him making the jury. I don't know if he's going to win because everything that I just said kind of implies somebody who isn't going to win. So that's what I got.
I have Jackson and I put 3 on it. I don't see Jackson going pre-merge, but I don't see Jackson sitting at the final tribal council.
And then it sounds like you've placed Jackson.
I feel like really confident in this one. And I don't know if it's just because like of the Zeke thing. So like, I don't know if that's like in my head because Zeke also like, it was like, he's always going to make the merge, but then he didn't go all the way to the end. So I don't know if like, I'm just kind of basing it on
Andrea, the Zeke and the Andrea.
Yeah. Like there's just like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if that's just me being like, well, because, you know, he's the second transgender person on the show. That's what's happening. But that's just what's in my head. So that's what I'm going to go with. I definitely see Jackson going deeper than sooner, though. Like, so if I'm wrong on this and Jackson doesn't make the jury, it's because he's sitting at final tribal, not because he went home pre-merge.
Okay. I like it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Who's gonna hug Jeff?
I said Daniel for this one.
Nice.
Huge fan. Like again, this is something that I feel like you have to be kind of meta. Well, also I think people just want to hug Jeff. Has listened to us. I don't know if he's listened to us in the past, but if he has, then he would know how important this is to us. I have one confidence point because I also think this season was filmed during COVID. I don't think anyone's hugging Jeff right now.
No, Jeff wouldn't allow it. I have Swati with 1 point because of that. I don't think it's going to happen. Swati, much like Lydia, I don't really know what to do with. I think Swati could go very far. I think Swati could be a part of reward challenges, do all these other things. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to put her right here with 1 point.
I should have put Chanel for this one.
You should have.
I should have,
but you're too obsessed.
She's winning, so
yeah, you're too obsessed. That's the problem.
Yeah. She's winning, so you can't have her do all of them, you know?
I hear you. Who do you have sitting out 3 more challenges?
This one I really struggled with, and I don't really agree with it, so I'm giving 1 point. I think Tori is going to sit out 3 challenges. I wasn't quite sure where to put her. She kind of fell into this, so I will be candid about that. Could sit out for food, but I think I can't even really justify it because I actually think she'll be fairly good in challenges. This one kind of fell in.
Yeah, I'm going to go Marianne. I don't like. Part of me wants to go Jenny on this, but then because we just watched Heather sit out so much in the last season, and Jenny, I guess, is the oldest woman on this season. But Jenny's not an older woman. Like Jenny's fit. She's going to be plenty good, plenty useful at these challenges. But I'm going to go Marianne, being that Marianne is very young. If she gets on a good winning tribe here, she's gonna roll. So I'm only putting 1 point on it though, because in these really, really small tribes, like we're seeing, there's not a lot of wiggle room to sit out, especially if they do what they did last year and the first challenge results in 2 people going home, because then there's only one tribe that is sitting people out. And if they lose the next one, nobody's sitting out the next challenge.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think about that. I'm curious. I wonder if they're going to have that be the same, but I feel like this is just going to be the exact same as season 41.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. It feels like they're just going to
lean
into it. All right. Who do you have getting 10 or more confessionals in one single episode?
This is 1 point because I think this is really hard to do. And I have no reason why she would or would not do this during the premiere, which is the easiest time to hit this. I have Lindsay. We have talked about Lindsay being a talker. She has talked about being a talker. So I figured I'd lean into something that she's saying about herself. Only 1 confidence point because I think this is a pretty difficult one to hit. She'd either have to make it to the end or have a breakout premiere, which is those only 2 episodes there.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Romeo on this, and I'm going to do 2. And my reason for Romeo is I think that Romeo early on, I think him and Tori both having this connection over the whole what do you call it?
Beauty pageant thing.
Thank you. Yeah, the beauty pageant thing, I think will lead to a couple of confessionals for both of them that we wouldn't necessarily need. And I also think that normally men get more confessionals than women. So rather than putting Tori here, I'm going to put Romeo and just assume that maybe Romeo is more of the vocal person from that tribe to start off. And I mean, that's really all I got for that. I just think that's I think he's a good fit for this. I feel like he just knows what it takes to be in front of a camera, what it takes to be behind a camera. And he's on a tribe that very easily could lose this first challenge. I also think there's a lot of interesting stuff there with Swati, Drea, Zach, Roxroy, all of that. I don't know. I have a good feeling about him kind of eating up some screen time, at least at 1 point. So
yeah, I see that as well. I almost had him on this. I have him on a pretty similar prop.
All right, what else? Who's getting their mouth blurred?
Lydia, 3 points, is blurring her mouth.
Nice.
She is pretty funny on Twitter. It's a very safe pick. I think she's somebody who is going to have a lot of good things to say. I also almost had her for an episode title. But typically people who get their mouth blurred a lot don't have an episode title, so I had to go one way or another. 3 points.
Yeah, this one's tough because I'm looking at the 6 people I have left, and the only one who I'd want to do this, I'm definitely going to have do a confessional in every episode. So that makes it hard because I don't really feel like I have cursors left in front of me at all. But I'm going to actually go with Jenny on this. I don't know. I don't feel like Tori can because Tori's religious.
That would be so funny if Jenny had a huge potty mouth.
Omar has already stated all these things about himself that he's really proud of. I don't see him cursing. Drea, I could see cursing, but I don't know. I feel like Drea is going to be more useful Like I feel like I can use Drea somewhere else here. And then high, I just don't know. Jonathan
Mhm.
absolutely could have his mouth blurred, but I want to use
Yeah.
Jonathan for a confessional in every episode. So I'm going to go ahead and
Uh,
I am going to put Jenny here. And yeah, you better believe I'm putting 1 point.
okay. Well, now we already know where Jonathan's going for you.
Yeah, you know where Jonathan and Mariah are going.
Wow. We're almost done.
I know. I'm ripping.
Yeah, you're flying through this.
I'm doing
13.
my math. Yes, go ahead. 13. Who will last an hour or longer in a challenge?
This is also a hard one because this weirdly hasn't happened very often, considering that every single individual immunity challenge is like an endurance one, but I think they just make them too hard. I have Drea, kind of a cop out, but
Me too.
if you're, yeah, this seemed like a, wait, who was your winner?
I had Mike.
Oh, right. Oh, Drea was your winner last time.
Yeah.
Yeah, Drea she trains people how to be athletic. Like she's somebody
Mm-hmm.
who could easily last an hour in a challenge. And I didn't put Jonathan on this one because I don't think what he is good at is conducive to an hour.
Agreed.
He finishes challenges quite quickly.
I completely agree. I don't think that this is the thing for him. Like he's gonna get up there on the thing with that Danny was on and his back started spasming. Like, no, but I agree. I think Dre is a good pick here. I have 2 points on that.
Yeah. Cool. Same. Is that the only one we have as
Right
this?
now, yeah. And then, as I already said, with a confessional in every episode, I have Jonathan. I have 3 points on that. I feel like he's not going to stop talking the entire time he's out there. I feel like him and Lindsay are going to eat up a lot of screen time. So there you go. I'm going to go ahead and put him at 3.
I like that. I have Romeo at this for having a confessional in every episode. 2 points of confidence. Kind of like you said, I think Romeo is a fan. I think there's a lot of content that he can tell the camera, and I think he knows how to do that. I think he's somebody who's definitely gonna have a hot start. And I think regardless of how long he lasts, I think he'll definitely be a good narrator.
Yep. I like that. I like Romeo there. Will be a part of 5 or more rewards. So we'll be a part, whatever these rewards are at this point that aren't even rewards. Now, if they are even rewards, because there weren't many last year, but this also means if you win individual immunity and there is a reward attached to it, you get it. If you're on the tribe that wins team immunity and there's a reward attached to it, that counts. So who do you got for this?
I have the winner of the season, Mike from Hoboken, New Jersey.
There you go.
3 confidence points, which is probably a little aggressive. Important to note, this only includes rewards that are aired. We can't keep track of the ones that are not aired, regardless of how much you contact us about it. I think that Mike I think he's somebody that is going to be solid in challenges. So as long as he doesn't lose every single pre-merge challenge, he's probably going to get 2 rewards there, let's say. He also seems like someone that people might bring on a reward, and that obviously counts. I think he's somebody who's going to be very inoffensive. I think he could be seen as the dad of the group, even though he doesn't like, what does he not like that kids do? He doesn't like when they throw
cereal boxes
or something like that.
Yeah, open cereal.
I think I feel pretty good about Mike getting 3 rewards. And again, maybe 3 rewards isn't that hard to hit, especially with 3 tribes, because a lot of times it's like, here, you get a...
Wait, aren't we doing 5 though? We're doing 5.
Oh, we're doing 5. Well, I'm in too deep, so hopefully he gets 5.
Too late. He's gonna hit 5. All right, I have high for this. So from the same tribe, I don't necessarily think that means that this tribe is going to win a lot, but I do think that if he gets past the first vote, now all of a sudden he can just kind of cruise and they win, they get second place, they're going to get they're going to get a fishing rod or something. Yeah. And then I think that he could be a part of some rewards post-merge. So there you go. I'm going to go ahead and put high. I have 2 points on it because I have no choice, because I have 7 points. I had 7 points left I had to use. So there you go. High with 2.
Hi.
This
poor guy,
he probably hates that so much. So who is going to say an episode title?
I think Marianne is going to say an episode title. She's getting 1 point because I feel like episode titles have just become platitudes that Jeff say. But I think Marianne is super excited to be there. I think Marianne has a ton of energy and is just going to be really, really excited. I think she's going to get a lot of confessionals, and I think that just is conducive to inevitably saying an episode title. And also, I think she's a huge fan. So not that she would plan what an episode title says, but I think a lot of what she says could translate to something that Survivor would make as a title.
Yeah, I have Omar here with 3 points. I feel like Omar is going to be loud on this season. I think that he might not necessarily last very, very long, But if he doesn't, he's going to go like the Jacob route, where he's going to be a very, very focal point of this show early on. So that's why I have Omar here with 3 points, saying an episode title. I think that he's going to give us some gold right off the bat.
I like that. Good choice.
Leaves with an unused advantage, Alexa.
I have 2 points. I have Jonathan.
Nice.
I think Jonathan is going to be a big time provider. He's going to be hanging around at camp, making camp very useful. He's going to be leaving camp to get a lot of stuff. People who move around a lot and also people who hang out at camp a lot, they are going to find advantages because they're going to be all over the place. However, I don't mean this in a bad way. I don't think he is the biggest fan of present day fast-paced Survivor. I think that a lot of these players are crazy, crazy fans. They are going to try to pull something over him. So I think he's going to get an advantage very easily. I don't necessarily think he is going to play it before he goes home.
Yeah, I have Tori here with 2 points, and it's funny because I have Tori as my 5th place finisher in the bootless game. So she's going to go home at that time with an unused advantage. At the last time you can use an advantage, she's going to decide not to use it.
You can't feel bad for her in that situation.
No, can't. So yeah, I have Tori 2 points on that one. Leave with an unused advantage, which leads us to, and I really do believe firmly with all of my heart that this is the last time that we will ever have this as a prop, and hopefully the last time that this will be a focal point on Survivor. We're coming up on the 2-year anniversary. We just had a State of the Union with no masks, which was a thing that happened and felt pretty good and pretty normal. So we have mentioning COVID. Now, it has to say the word COVID or coronavirus or COVID-19, something like that. I think Mariah is a lock for this with 3 points based on everything that we saw last season with the back stories on everybody and talking about their family and their loved ones and who died during COVID and things like that. Mariah had her brother be the first nurse to die in New York City from COVID. There is no way in any way she could get the Hope Driscoll edit from Survivor season 26, and this will still get aired. There is no way that this doesn't get aired. She's going to mention COVID. I have 3 points on this. This is the only thing I'm more confident than this happening is Chanel crying.
I knew you were going to say that.
It's the only thing I'm more confident in. So yeah, I have Mariah
Chanel,
here with 3. I think it's a lock.
I hope Chanel is an emotionless human being and only makes other people cry, but doesn't know herself.
She's going to do the Shan thing where she's just walking around with like the evil music in her head while everybody's sobbing.
Yeah, and make Mariah cry. 2 points. I have Jackson on this. I forget what his actual job is, but is in some form of healthcare. I assume that reference is going to come up as well. Not as confident as Mariah, but also not as confident as Chanel winning. So,
Yeah. Yeah. And Jackson is a healthcare worker. So whatever that means. Yeah, definitely.
Whatever that means, he has been quite involved.
He's been quite involved. So there you go. That's how it works. Mine equals out to 36. Alexa's probably equals out to 35, but that's just Alexa for you. So yeah, we're gonna be accepting these submissions up until the finale, up until the premiere date. If you get it at the finale and you don't win, you stink at this game. So we'll be doing this up until the premiere date. Make sure that if you submit and you win, that you let us know. Also, become patrons, $20 patrons. You can play in the Power Rankings game, which won't start until we'll accept submissions before this episode on the 16th, because the one before the 9th, that's kind of just a crapshoot. It gives people an unfair advantage for really no reason, just because they got lucky. So we'll be starting it after that. So become a patron. It's March 2nd. You can get through the month. If you're stinking at that game, you can just say, I don't want to do this anymore. McKenna is still killing it with Pearl Islands, Australian Survivor, and The Amazing Race. John and I talking about Survivor winners. I'm sorry. We're not talking about Survivor winners at all. We're talking about Best Picture nominees. God, I don't even know what I'm saying. So we've been doing that for the nominees this year. Alexa did a retrospective of bold predictions. I did a retrospective of why I was a whiny little baby last season and how I hope we're better this season. So that was a fun listen. Check that out. But yeah, we have a lot going on. We're trying to make this as fun as possible. And I'm running into this knowing that it's going to be pretty close to what 41 was, but at least now I know it's coming, so maybe I can just sit back and enjoy the ride. Alexa, sorry I took a lot there, but go ahead.
No, I'm glad you did, because it is the first of the month, so this is always when we push for more patrons. As Phil said, we have more patron content than we've ever had before, so now is obviously a great time to become a patron. I am very excited for the season. I can't believe it's a week away, and we've tweeted and posted about this, but we have back-to-back podcasts this week. Tomorrow night, we are joined by really someone who is better than both of us combined at life and at drafting a fantasy team. Vaughn Stewart changing the world and kicking our ass at fantasy. So tune in tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. The three of us are going to draft our fantasy teams, and it's going to be a ton of fun because Vaughn is probably going to tell us that all the people that we both like are horrible. So
we haven't had him on in a while either. So if you're not familiar with Vaughn always comes in here and actually analyzes the game in a way that Alexa and I just sit here and smile. And look for whatever attire. I'm curious to see what attire he's going to be wearing, because that's normally a good sign of who he's going to end up picking. So if he comes in with just like a plain yellow t-shirt on, he's going all in on Jackson Fox. If he comes in with his biceps bulging out of his shirt, that means he's all about Jonathan. So I'm curious to see how this is going to go for Vaughn tomorrow night. So make sure to tune in for that. It's always been fun. And for those of you who are new, just if you're wondering who is Vaughn is the one who is the reason that pretty much this whole thing exists, because he was the one who donated the most to the GoFundMe when we did that way back with me and Will. Mm-hmm. And he helped us to get the audio boom and everything like that going when we were making $0. So he was a big factor in that. And he is the $20 tier of our Patreon. So for those who are new, you'll actually finally understand the reference. Welcome to being part of a joke, right? What does Michael Scott say? You're going to be like Michael Scott now. You love inside jokes. You're going to be one now.
Welcome to your insider, all 26 of you who are watching live.
Yes, exactly. So anyway, we'll see you all tomorrow night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. So look forward to that. Get your prop bets in. You got a week. See you later.